Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about pretty much all of the movies that I watch and that I associate with Christmas and watch during the month of December. I thought this would just be a fun video to talk about the movies that I only really watch in, dedicated to that month. Seasonal movies that I just absolutely love and enjoy. Some of these movies, for me, I'm kind of just going to go through them in the order that I enjoy them the most. I've kind of a ranking, but not a ranking at the same time. Again, these are just the movies that I watch during Christmas, that I associate with Christmas, that enhance my enjoyment of the month. Christmas is not an easy time of year for me. I don't enjoy it to the full that I would love to, but these movies for me certainly do help, and they just put a smile on my face, and I have a good time watching them and help me get me through the month, and I just have a blast with them nonetheless. So please don't be offended if you see a movie on here that's like, you should watch that more at Christmas, you should love it more, or no. There's some movies on here that are Christmas classics, but I just don't enjoy them as much, and I don't really sort of watch them every time Christmas comes around. I certainly respect some of them, but yeah, for me, these are just the movies that, I adore. And as we go on and get deeper into the list, we're going to hit some more of my favourites and the ones that I enjoy. I watch multiple times within a couple of days as we get closer and closer to the 25th. But yeah, just sit back, relax, and I hope this puts a smile on your face. This is just a comfort video I wanted to make about the movies that I watch in the month of December and just have that Christmas vibe that I absolutely love getting out of when I watch these films. So that being said, gonna get straight into it. So first up, I'm gonna go with Spirited. So yeah, this is starting off with some of the more recent movies to come out on this list. I saw this for the first time last year. I had fun with it. I thought the two leads, Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, had really good chemistry together. It was a different take on the Christmas Carol tale from Charles Dickens, and it kept me guessing. It kept me wondering which direction it was going to go in, and I really liked it. I really liked the fresh, brand new take on it, and it was a fun film. I really, really enjoyed it. Far from perfect, definitely, for me, but still a lot of fun to be had with this film. So yeah, that's Spirited. Next up, keeping it in with the same vein as a sort of different take on the Christmas Carol genre, we have The Man Who Invented Christmas with Dan Stevens. So this again it tells the tale of how Charles Dickens sort of came up with the idea for A Christmas Carol, but it kind of still tells that tale within the film without being a carbon copy. And again, yeah, really enjoyable film. Kind of a bit of a darker film as well, obviously, with the time it's been set in. But yeah, still enjoyed it nonetheless. Was a first time watch for me as well last year. And yeah, I enjoyed the film. So that's The Man Who Invented Christmas. And next up, we've got Kurt Russell in The Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. The first one was an enjoyable film, definitely. The second one was, it wasn't as good for me. The script, in my opinion, for the second one really, really hindered the film from being a good sequel. It was a bad script, in my opinion anyway. It just didn't really work. It didn't do the first film justice. The first film, a lot of fun. Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, I mean, on paper alone, that's worth the price of admission. You just think what could go wrong. But the second movie, unfortunately, left a lot to be desired. It just lacked that quality. I'd still watch the two of them back to back. I still think the second one's got some good things in it, but man, that script, it's not great. But yeah, that's The Christmas Chronicles. Next up, sort of a different romantic sort of rom-com set at Christmas. But I enjoyed this one. Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, Last Christmas. Again, a bit similar to Spirited. I thought from the poster and the trailers to this, I thought I've got this movie pegged. I know exactly what this is going to be like. I've seen this all before. But no, this was completely different. It sort of had me guessing it was going to go that way when I was watching it at first, but the ending to this film really surprised me. It really did something different. It really was its own thing, and I have such admiration for it. It was really good. Not everyone's cup of tea, might not work for everyone, but for me, it was just a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed this one. So that's Last Christmas. Next up, we have The Polar Express. I've got to say, visually, this movie's very, very interesting, very, very intriguing. A lot of good stuff happens in this film, but I don't know what it is. There's something stopping me from really liking this movie, really loving it. It has that Christmas vibe to it, has that Christmas aesthetic to it. A train journey with these kids on it to the North Pole to visit Santa, and it should be something I love, but I don't know what it is. There's just something about this film. There's just a missing ingredient that just stops me from loving it. I don't know what it is, because everything else about it is just visually interesting. Tom Hanks is great in the multiple roles in the film, and yeah, I don't know what it is. Can't quite pinpoint it, but I do enjoy it for what it is. So that's The Polar Express. Next up, Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon in Four Christmases. So yeah, this is kind of like this couple who Christmas comes around and they have to spend a sort of portion of the holiday with each of their parents, hence the title, Four Christmases. Daft over the top comedy, I should say, and yeah, it's what you'd expect on the tin. Not a great film, but an enjoyable one nonetheless. So yeah, that's Four Christmases. Let's keep in with Vince Vaughn now. We have Fred Claus. Yeah, a daft movie. Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus is great in this film. You know, he's having a lot of fun in this film. But yeah, Fred Claus, Vince Vaughn obviously plays Santa Claus's brother, who's kind of like the black sheep of the family, and that's pretty much the movie. It's everything you'd expect it to be. It was a fun, good time in my opinion, but yeah, just not one I'm probably going to watch every year. But yeah, still enjoyed it. Fred Claus. Next up, we've got one that's kind of grown on me. I just find this movie very, very charming, very, very likable, but I'll get into it in a second. So it is Arthur Christmas. Yeah, enjoy this one. Sort of sees like the whole how Christmas is run in the North Pole as like this sort of military operation. Executes it like that, but there's a sequence in this movie that I just think the movie could have done without. It just involves these lions. It was just took me out of the movie. It just was like, yes, let's get going with this pacing of the film. And then this sequence happened, and I was like, okay, well, my enjoyment with the movie's just ground to a halt right here. Is there any way we can get back on track? But other than that, the movie's good. I enjoy it. A fun cast. James McAvoy, Hugh Laurie, Bill Nighy, Jim Broadbent. All these elements are there, and they really, really work so well. But again, that one sequence just stopped me from thinking this was a great Christmas film. But yeah, one I still enjoyed nonetheless. Very underrated, very good in my opinion. So yeah, that's Arthur Christmas. Next up, we've got two versions of sort of the same story. There is three. I do need to get a better copy of the original. I know it's a shorter film, and I do know it recently came out on 4K. But yeah, so the first one we've got Ron Howard, Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, or The Grinch is how I knew this film as I grew up with it. I remember seeing it at the cinema back in 2000, and I remember it took a year for the movie to come out on physical media. It's just absolutely insane when you think about that now. But yeah, I hated this film for a good couple of years. I really, really didn't like it. I thought it was silly over the top. Even when I first saw it, I kind of thought it was cringy in places. But other than that, I've kind of grown to like this film. I don't know what it is. maybe Jim Carrey's performance as the Grinch, maybe the Christmas aesthetic of the movie. Something about it has won me over on more more rewatches each Christmas through adult eyes. I don't know. I've grown a really, really strong tolerance for it, for this film, and appreciation for it. But yeah, I quite like it nonetheless now anyway, so that's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And next up we have the Illumination animated version of Dr. Seuss's The Grinch, Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, fun film. I enjoy it. Put it on each Christmas. It's just a throwaway Christmas film that I get some enjoyment from. It's got some fun sequences in it. Benedict Cumberbatch is great. You can tell he's having a lot of fun doing the voice work for the Grinch. Well, yeah, enjoy it nonetheless. So that's The Grinch. Now next up, I probably should have this one higher. And I know there's so much love for this film. And It's a Wonderful Life. I was very, very late to the game with this film. I didn't see this film until I was probably in my early 20s. I didn't grow up with it at all. It was never really on the television that I saw growing up. And I do like it. I do like this film. I just don't love it. And it's not one that I can comfortably put on each year. I know that's probably sacrilegious to say. This is, if not one of, yeah, like I said, if not the greatest Christmas film possibly ever made. People love it, absolutely adore it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not questioning that at all. It's not up for debate at all. I understand this film's legacy. I absolutely do. But I think a lot of us all have that one movie where it's like, yeah, I appreciate it. I acknowledge its legacy. But it's not one for me that has the replay value at all. And for me, that movie is A Wonderful Life. Still like it, still enjoy it. It's just not a comfort movie that I can go to at Christmas. But I still watch it from time to time. So, yeah, that's A Wonderful Life. Next up, we've got sort of two movies that I think are very much cut from the same cloth. So the first one I've got is, this one came out after the one I'm also going to mention here. But this is Danny DeVito, Matthew Broderick in Deck the Halls. Absolutely daft, over the top, absurd Christmas movie. Sort of, the two actors here play these neighbours. Danny DeVito just wants to sort of decorate his house in that many Christmas lights that it can be seen from space. That's his goal in this movie. And Matthew Broderick is kind of like, I don't get his obsession, and they kind of outdo each other in this film. It's daft, it's fun, it's by no means a great movie, but my God, I thought this was so entertaining, so rewatchable for its daft humour, and I thought the two leads had pretty good chemistry in it, to say the least. So that is Deck the Halls. And next up, we have Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis in Christmas with the Cranks. So yeah, the Cranks, this couple who decide, you know what, let's just not bother with Christmas this year, and let's spend all the money we've saved for it to go on a sort of private holiday. And the whole neighbourhood doesn't take kindly to that in this movie. Dan Aykroyd in this film, I have never seen anybody sing Jingle Bells as intensely as him in this movie.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh!
It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. It's so daft, so over the top, absurd, cringy, and yet so likeable all at the same time. I don't know. Yeah, it should have been a train wreck, but for me, the movie kind of works. And I just love the cast in this film. So daft, so ludicrous. Yeah, Christmas with the Cranks. So next up, we've got, again, kind of like a newer movie for me that I do enjoy. I've seen this movie twice now. Different take on the Christmas movie genre. Violent Night with David Harbour. Yeah, absolutely balls to the walls. Sort of a more violent version of Home Alone. Absolutely loved this. Loved the sort of John Leguizamo as this villain in this film. Beverly D'Angelo as this family, sort of the head of this family who's keeping this secret. And yeah, John Leguizamo breaks in, takes the family hostage because he wants this money. And Santa Claus, played by David Harbour, is actually like a pretty badass in this film. He knows how to kick ass, he knows how to look after himself. And yeah, just helps this family out in this film. And it delivers on the title, Violent Night. Great movie, so really enjoyable. That's Violent Night. Next up, we're going back to the mid-80s now. And this for me was a movie that was always on television when I was growing up, but I never actually sat down and watched it in full. Again, it wasn't really until later on that I saw the movie in its entirety, and it is Santa Claus the movie. Yeah, I just really, really like this film. This always reminds me of Christmas. This is one that I cannot go a single year without watching, even though I don't think this is a great movie. It's not it's got its problems, it absolutely does, but the childhood memories I have growing up and seeing snippets of this film on TV, for me, are definitely unquestionable, high up there with my nostalgia. And yeah, it's just one that I can't go without watching each year, just for that reason. But it's got its problems. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch, but the first half of this movie, I just really love the Christmas aesthetic to it. The music in it is absolutely great. That Sheena Easton song during the closing credits, I absolutely love. Yeah, just I can't deny how much I like this film. So that is Santa Claus the movie. Next up, we've got a movie that I'm hopefully going to be getting on 4K soon. I've picked up the special edition of this, but for now the Blu-ray will save me, as it has done. And it is Gremlins. It kind of took me a long time to associate this film with Christmas. I was more of a fan of Gremlins 2 growing up. But yeah, this one, pretty good creature feature movie. I enjoy it. Set at Christmas. Christmas is not really the forefront of the film. It's very much there. It's just dipped in Christmas here and there as we go along in the movie. It pops up, definitely is present. No pun intended. But yeah, it's just a fun film. Really, really enjoy this one. Joe Dante at the helm of directing, Chris Columbus writing. Great cast as well. Yeah, just a fun movie. Gremlins. Next up, we've got another Tim Allen movie, The Santa Claus. Yeah, absolutely, again, a daft and ludicrous film. I didn't really get this film growing up. I think because I was dyslexic, I didn't really get the Claus pun in the title of this film. But yeah, Tim Allen, Santa Claus, quite a grim start to this movie. Santa Claus dies, and he ends up putting the coat on, and he ends up sort of becoming the new Santa Claus in this movie, and no one really sort of believes him and his son. They think they're sort of going crazy. They shouldn't really spend time together. And yeah, it's just got a really, really good heartwarming ending to this film. Really enjoy it. So that's The Santa Claus. Next up, we have Miracle on 34th Street. So this is the 90s version. I don't think I've seen the original, but yeah, this again is kind of like Santa Claus the movie for me. It's a good film. It's not perfect. It's definitely got some hiccups along the way, in my opinion. But yeah, it still has that Christmas vibe. I still like the movie. I have more nostalgia for the trailer for this film growing up, because it wasn't one that was from my childhood. But yeah, it's just Richard Attenborough as Santa Claus, man. Perfect casting, in my opinion anyway. Just what an adorable film, but does still have its problems for me. So that's Miracle on 34th Street. Next up, a bit more of a sort of a bit more of a darker movie. We have Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah, this movie cracks me up. I just absolutely love it. The humour is on point. The vibe of this movie as well captures Christmas for me. I just dig it. Yeah, it's just a fun film. The comedy is just there. It works so well. If you like these sort of dark, humorous movies that are supposed to sort of be, have a cheerful premise, this one's definitely for you. Some of the jokes in this had me absolutely howling. So yeah, that's Bad Santa. Next up, we have Richard Donner's Scrooged with Bill Murray. Yeah, this is one of my sort of favourite different takes on the Christmas Carol genre. Obviously, Bill Murray is sort of like the head of this TV network corporation. And again, he's visited by these three spirits that try and change him. His performance at the end of this film is just absolutely sublime. It borderline pushes you to tears, just how captivating he is in this film. Really love the look of it. Love the sort of 80s vibe to this movie. It's just great. Really, really enjoy it. I understand it's not for everyone, but for me, it's a Christmas film that I really enjoy, and it goes under the radar in my opinion. So that is Scrooged. Next up, we've got two movies that, again, I was kind of late to the party with the first one, and it does have a legacy sequel, which I haven't really sort of seen yet. So we have A Christmas Story. Yeah, this is one that a lot of people talked about. I might not be correct in saying this, but I think over here in the UK, this movie wasn't as big of a deal as it is in the US. It only recently got a 4K over here a couple of years ago, and I think to get the 4K is still the only way you can get it on Blu-ray. But I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, really, really enjoyable. Quite a short movie as well, doesn't overstay its welcome by any means. Sort of follows this kid, Ralphie, who wants this BB gun for Christmas, but everyone says the same thing to him. You'll just shoot your eye out with it. A lot of fun sequences in the movie. The scene with the tongue stuck to the pole outside absolutely still cracks me up. Yeah. And yeah, it's just a fun movie. Really, really enjoy it. Great Christmas vibe. Do have the legacy sequel as well, but I haven't gotten around to watching it. I'm saving it for December, and that is Christmas Story Christmas. Yeah, sort of sees the grown-up Ralphie, I guess. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm going to watch it back-to-back with the original as well. So that's going to be a fun double feature when I get to it. So that's A Christmas Story. So next up, with Will Ferrell, we have Elf. Yeah, this was again a movie that took me a long, long time to sort of appreciate it. I remember seeing trailers for this when it was coming out, and I just thought, Will Ferrell as an elf? Really? What story is there to be told with that? What we trying to execute here? But I watched the film, saw it, and yeah, it was kind of a story that we've all seen before. Fish out of water tale. He's trying to sort of befriend his family. His dad's a bit of a Grinch, and he's sort of thaw out his heart and stuff like that. That's pretty much the movie. It doesn't tell a story that I can say that is brand new, in my opinion anyway. But again, this movie for me captures the vibe of Christmas so well. It really does. It has it in a net, in a cage. It just does it so well. Something about Christmas in New York with movies, don't know what it is. It's just a fabulous setting for it. Really, really is. But yeah, it's again a fun film, very watchable film. I can watch this one probably a couple of times each December. It just has a very, very comforting vibe to it. It's like a warm hug, this film. I don't know why. I just get that from it. So that is Elf. Next up, a very, very special film for me next, because this was, in fact, the very first film that I at least can recall seeing at the cinema. And I loved it when I was 3 years old. I love it now. Tim Burton's, well, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, what can I say about this film? A clash of Halloween and Christmas coming together. Absolutely superb. It works so well. Short movie as well, not a massive runtime. Love the stop motion animation in it. Love the music in it. The look of the film, the characters. It's overload for me. It's just so good. Really, really enjoy this one. It's just an absolute delight, and I look forward to watching this every December. Not so much when I grow up did I pigeonhole this movie to that month. This was just a movie I could put on any time of year and just watch it. But now, as I've gotten older, I do kind of save it for Christmas, just so I appreciate it all that much more. But yeah, absolutely love and adore this film, Nightmare Before Christmas. Next up, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way.
You want a Turbo Man for Christmas?
Forget it, I'm not gonna sit in your lap.
What a fun film. Daft, ludicrous, over the top, trying to get his son this Turbo Man for Christmas. Saves it to the last minute. Christmas Eve comes around and he's just trying to find this doll and he just cannot get one anywhere. All these shenanigans break loose with this film. I just love it. I adore it. I can watch it. I think there was a day where I think I watched this movie 3 times round the Christmas period a couple of years ago. I've gotten into a habit of doing it. So watchable. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it is a Christmas film and it is seasonal and it's trapped to that month. But yeah, other than that, I probably would watch the movie many times throughout the year. It's just so enjoyable, so watchable, so entertaining. And yeah, I can't deny how I feel about this film. So that is Jingle All the Way. Next up, this is a chicken and the egg scenario. Is this a Christmas film? Is this not a Christmas film? Die Hard. I can't outright say it is and I can't outright say it isn't. I mean, for arguing that this is not a Christmas film, Christmas is nowhere near the forefront of this movie. It is just action-packed, more so, definitely. The action outweighs the Christmas so much more in this film. But if you were to argue it was a Christmas film, the Christmas music in this film is just so undeniably evident in the movie. The fact that it's set at Christmas as well. It's up to you. It's completely discretional, this. You can be the judge. You can decide. You can get from this movie whatever the hell you want to. If it's a Christmas film for you, absolutely buzzing. If it's not, I'm still buzzing for you. The movie's excellent. I watch this film every Christmas Eve. I just adore it. I get thrown into it. I get lost in the story. It's just one of the best action movies ever made that just so happens to be set at Christmas. And I love it for that. So, yeah. That's Die Hard. Next up we have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This for me is probably my favourite vacation movie. I love this one. Very, very sort of just followed closely by the first movie, but this one for me it's just so good. Again, it captures the Christmas vibe. I love the opening Christmas music to this film. The comedy's there. The characters are there. It just works so well. Every time I watch this film, I see something new in it as well. The little hidden details are just there, and it's just great. I just love it. Talk about your warm hug. Christmas Vacation does that for me in abundance. I love this movie. I just think it's great. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Next up, we have Love Actually.
You don't have a cute British accent.
Yes, I do. I'm going to America.
Colin, you're a lonely, ugly arsehole. And you must accept.
So, again, talk about your movie with an ensemble cast. On paper, this should be a train wreck. It does not work, in my opinion, if, you have all these characters and it just should collide and be an absolute mess. This movie pulls it off. Every single character in this film has an equal amount of screen time. Everyone contributes. Everyone's at the top of their game in this film. And I just absolutely love it. It should feel bloated and just oversaturated. I don't get that at all from this film. I just love it so well. All the characters are different as well. Everybody's bringing something different. Yeah, I I just adore it. It's just so good. It's one of these movies, again, that should be overload you with just its bloatedness, but I don't get that from it. I love the film. I just think it's great. Love the music in this movie as well. The soundtrack, the pop soundtrack is great. Yeah, just what a great film. Love this one. So that is Love Actually. Next up, we've got an absolute nostalgic staple for me, and it is The Muppets Christmas Carol. So here in this set, we've got a couple of movies, but Christmas Carol for me was the one that I rewatched the most, probably followed by Muppet Treasure Island, which I also watch at Christmas, just because I associate that movie with Christmas. Yeah, Christmas Carol, though, what a great film. I absolutely love Michael Caine in this movie as Ebenezer Scrooge. He just is so opposite to the Muppets in this movie. It works so well, and it's just so great. They're just two polar opposites, work magnificently. Adore it. Michael Caine, on point as well as Ebenezer Scrooge. But what I like about this film as well is it touches on some of the more sort of wholesome and heartbreaking moments as well. There's a line in this movie that's delivered by Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit, and it just gets me every time.
It's all right, children. Life is made up of meetings and partings. That is the way of it.
But yeah, it really, really does hit home. It's a fantastic movie. I absolutely love it. What a great film. Yeah, can't deny how much I love it. So that is Muppets Christmas Carol. And finally, we have two movies for me that I can't go Christmas without. It's not Christmas without these two movies for me. So the first one is Home Alone. What can I say? Absolutely fantastic movie. A staple for me. Childhood classic. Absolutely love it. A good, solid film. The music in this movie is just phenomenal. Absolutely love it. The two villains, the Wet Bandits. What can I say? Absolutely love and adore this film. Just, it's great. Just love it. Sit down with a pizza and watch Home Alone. The world is right. Yeah, just absolutely love this movie. Cannot express that enough. It's just fantastic. Macaulay Culkin, it just sent him into the stratosphere at the time with his fame and everything. Kind of rubbed off a little bit in the second one. You can kind of see it gets to him in that movie, but yeah, this first one, love and adore it. The ending to this movie as well hits me like a ton of bricks now that I'm an adult. I didn't really used to get it when I was a kid. I didn't really sort of appreciate it. I certainly do now as an adult. It hits home hard, and I love it even more for that. So that is Home Alone. And of course, I can't watch Home Alone without watching Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Straight off the bat, Tim Curry makes this movie.
Cedric,
Yes?
don't count your chips in public. Mr. McAllister out in front, sir. A limousine and a pizza.
Have a lovely day. You little...
I'm afraid you're mistaken, sir.
There's an insane guest with a gun!
Do bundle up. It's awfully cold outside.
Yeah, what can I say? Absolutely phenomenal actor. This movie benefits from his presence so much. It's just a fun film. Absolutely love it. I might find this movie a bit more entertaining than the first one. I don't think it's as good as made of a movie as the first one, but I do find the entertainment factor just a bit more with the second one. Don't know what it is. Maybe it is Tim Curry, but yeah, he just makes this movie for me. I just adore it. And again, similar to Elf, this movie captures New York at Christmas time phenomenally. Just, yeah, absolutely hits it out of the park. Two great comedies, so entertaining. Absolutely love both of them. What can you say? Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern delivering both movies for me. Absolutely top-notch stuff. So that is Home Alone 1 and 2. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Those are all of the movies that I try and watch each year. Maybe I'll miss one or two here and there, but this for me was just a fun list to make this as Christmas is coming around. And yeah, I'm going to leave the video there, guys, and say, you know what, thanks very much for watching. Leave me, a list of movies that you love to watch each Christmas, because obviously it's seasonal. We don't really get to watch these movies any other time of the year, and they're just fun to talk about. So yeah, that's just me and a list of some of my favourite Christmas films. So I'm going to leave the video there, and I'm going to wish every single one of you a Merry Christmas and have an absolutely fantastic and happy New Year. So yeah, roll on 2025. So yeah, gonna leave it there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.